New camera footage from the Charlie Kirk event, footage that could flip this entire case upside down. Because what if Tyler Robinson didn't pull the trigger? What if he was never supposed to? The footage surfaced in the early hours of a Tuesday morning. No one knows who uploaded it. The account was gone within 40 minutes. But in that short window, a few viewers downloaded and mirrored the file. And what they found was enough to reopen the conversation. Inside the video, the camera sits far back in the auditorium in audience view. You see Charlie Kirk on stage, pacing, microphone in hand. The crowd is restless, waiting. Then one of the guards in the far right corner moves strangely. He breaks formation, steps toward the curtain, checks his watch twice. He whispers something into his earpiece. Then, and this is where it gets strange, two of the cameras in that section suddenly go black. Exactly 12 seconds later, the shot. What does that mean? It means that someone inside the team may have known what was coming. This is Criminal Pattern Reloaded. The name may sound familiar because it is. The original Criminal Pattern was taken down after exposing uncomfortable truths, the kind that didn't fit the narrative. They called it a policy violation, but we know what really happened. We showed you evidence, real evidence, and someone didn't like that. So we're back. Same mission, same voice, stronger than ever. And today we expose something they never wanted you to see. New camera footage from the Charlie Kirk event, footage that could flip this entire case upside down. Because what if Tyler Robinson didn't pull the trigger? What if he was never supposed to? The footage surfaced in the early hours of a Tuesday morning. No one knows who uploaded it. The account was gone within 40 minutes. But in that short window, a few viewers downloaded and mirrored the file. And what they found was enough to reopen the conversation. Inside the video, the camera sits far back in the auditorium in audience view. You see Charlie Kirk on stage, pacing, microphone in hand. The crowd is restless, waiting. Then one of the guards in the far right corner moves strangely. He breaks formation, steps toward the curtain, checks his watch twice. He whispers something into his earpiece. Then, and this is where it gets strange, two of the cameras in that section suddenly go black. Exactly 12 seconds later, the shot. What does that mean? It means that someone inside the team may have known what was coming. Charlie Kirk's private security was no small operation. Multiple armed officers, all vetted, all professionally trained. But here's what no one talks about. The company behind them, Haverlock Protection Services, was under federal review at the time for falsifying background checks and record keeping. That means not every guard standing there that night was who they claimed to be. And one name keeps surfacing in documents that mysteriously went missing later. A man known only as Unit 7. No real name, no file, just that code. This same man appears in 3 separate angles of leaked footage, yet not a single official report lists him as part of the team. So who was he protecting? Charlie Kirk or someone else entirely? Within 90 minutes of the shooting, news outlets had Tyler Robinson's face everywhere. They called him unstable, radical, dangerous. But not one of those early reports included verified forensics or a confirmed trajectory. And now with this footage, that timeline falls apart. Tyler was sitting in the 3rd row. The shot came from behind the stage. Witnesses heard a pop, not from the front, not from the aisle, but from the back exit corridor. Yet somehow the official version says the bullet traveled from the front of the audience toward the stage. That's not just bad reporting, that's deliberate confusion. When you look at the data, it's impossible for Tyler to have fired that shot. He was in plain view, no weapon ever recovered, no gunpowder residue, no fingerprint evidence tying him to the bullet that ended it all. So why is he still labeled the shooter? Why was the narrative locked within hours? Maybe because the real shooter wore a badge. Sources close to the case confirmed that 3 members of Kirk's team failed polygraph tests, but those results never made it into the final report. One of them later moved overseas. Another received a mysterious transfer to a federal security detail. The third vanished completely. So we asked, how do guards who supposedly froze under pressure suddenly end up with new contracts, new names, and sealed employment files? They don't, unless someone's protecting them. And that someone has connections high enough to rewrite the record. When the new footage leaked, major outlets didn't touch it. Not one headline, not one verified discussion. Instead, the videos were scrubbed, hashtags suppressed, and comment sections disabled for safety. Safety for who? You can't question this case without losing your reach. Independent journalists posting the clips were flagged, channels gone, threads locked, and anyone who dared mention security involvement was labeled a conspiracy theorist. But censorship never deletes the truth, it only delays it. And that's why Criminal Pattern Reloaded exists, to document, preserve, and expose what they keep burying. Behind the politics, behind the arguments, there are real people suffering. Tyler Robinson's family lives in constant fear, death threats, job losses, isolation. His mother said in a recent statement, "My son was condemned before he ever got a trial." And yet no mainstream reporter has reached out to them in months. Why not? Because acknowledging their pain means acknowledging the cracks in the story. And that's not convenient for anyone who profits from silence. When you put the pieces together, the missing footage, the crooked guards, the blacked out reports, it all forms a pattern, the same kind of pattern we've seen in other cases. Evidence hidden, witnesses pressured, stories rewritten. It's not chaos, it's choreography. They shape the narrative, they select the villain, and by the time the public realizes, the truth is already edited out. That's not law enforcement, that's stage management. Why did the camera feeds go dark? Why did the guard in blue signal twice before the blackout? Why did forensic evidence disappear between transport and lab analysis? And why, after all this time, are officials refusing to release the full event footage? Because once you see it, the truth is impossible to unsee. We lost our old channel for asking questions like these. We lost years of work, videos, archives, everything. But we didn't lose our voice, because truth doesn't vanish, it finds new ground. And now it's here, in Criminal Pattern Reloaded. If you believe truth should be louder than silence, if you think families deserve answers, then don't scroll past this, share this video, comment, subscribe. Your voice keeps stories like this alive. Your support is the reason truth still breathes online. They erased the first pattern. But this time, we're not going anywhere. This is Criminal Pattern Reloaded, where truth leaves no survivors.